Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 30th June 2016. The first article is by Vanishing Courier and it is about downgrade for democracy. The context of this article is this. Yesterday, Hindu has published that Modi government is contemplating to reduce the Ministry of Panchayat Raj into a department under Rural Development Ministry. So in this case, what this ministry did and why is it important, that is what is analyzed in this article. The first thing is, if you see the 73rd, 74th Amendment Acts, the major challenge to them is non-devolution of funds, functions and functionaries. So in this case, it has developed index of devolution. So various states on this index of devolution are compared, and because of this, more and more states are moving towards devolution of the resources towards the panchayats. And along with that, it is creating empowerment at the rural level by providing them with the necessary education and also providing the data functions, etc., and providing necessary training skills to the panchayat, the presidents. And the most important function is activity mapping. In this, if a scheme is launched by the government of India, how it has to be distributed, how the responsibilities have to be assigned across center, state and the local governments. In the local governments, how it has to be distributed between three tiers. This is all done by the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. So the capacity building exercise and then empowerment and providing for functions which spread across all the departments and ministries in the central government and the state governments, which are enumerated in the 11th schedule of the constitution. This made the Panchayati Raj ministry the most important under UPA 1 and UPA 2. So, if India has largest representation in the world, one of the reasons is panchayats. If their panchayats are functioned effectively, automatically it lead to the rural empowerment and rural development. Now, one important comment has been made. The objective of 73rd, 74th Amendment Act, it is to create the local government, not just the local self-governance. So, local self-governance means we shall not contemplate the local governments as the channels to deliver various programs. More than that, local governments are towards providing for a chance of discussion, deliberation at the local level and to find the solutions to the local problems by the people themselves. So that's why this particular thing is very important. Now, contested legacy of Isaac Swu. Now, to understand this article, we need to know something about Nagaland. Now, in 1950s, this Naga National Council by FIZO, the AZ FIZO, it was established, and the major objective of this is to create an independent Nagaland or independent country of Nagaland. And then in 1975, when Indira Gandhi became Prime Minister, she has come down heavily on the Naga National Council. Finally, a Shillong Agreement has come into existence. So in the Shillong Agreement, the Naga National Council agreed to give away their sovereignty demand for the Nagaland. So resented with this, a faction was created that is called NSCN, Naga or Nationalistic Socialistic Council of Nagaland. So after that, the Nagas are been spread in Manipur, Nagaland and also in Myanmar. So the Nagas of Myanmar and Nagas of India, the rift got developed. So in the Indian Nagas, so it has led to NSCN-IM, Isaac Muvaya. And Myanmar Nagas, they divide into NSCN, Kaplong faction. So now, this NSCN-IM, so Isaac, he belongs to one tribe and that is called Sumi tribe. And Mr. Muvaya is a Tungluk tribe. Muvaya is actually from Manipur. So in this case, there is certain rift which is going on among Nagas. You know that there is a ceasefire which is spread over more than 18 years among the Nagas. So in this, recently government has signed a framework agreement for peace with NSCN-IM. So what this bargained with, the government shall not negotiate with any other faction among the Nagas. Not just these two factions, many other factions exist among Nagas. And Nagas are not a homogeneous entity. There are many tribal categories among the Nagas. In this case, NSCN wants itself to be the sole representative of the Nagas as recognized by the government of India. So finally, NSCIN, it has backtracked from the framework agreement as per the government sources, and it started demanding again for sovereignty. So in this case, the and among this is Isaac Swu, he has passed away. So what will be its impact on the Naga's peace process and Naga nationalism as a whole? If you carefully observe, there is a resentment going on between the cadre and the leaders of the NSCN IM, because Mr. Mubaya is from Manipur and he belongs to Tungluks. So it means the cadre is belonging to another tribe and the leaders are belonging to another tribe. And this rift is going to get widened after the death of Isaac Swu, who acted as a balancing wheel. Now coming to basic income. What is the context of this article? Recently in Switzerland, a referendum was held in which a universal basic income has to be provided for every citizen. So, it is rejected in the referendum, but is that a bad idea? That is what is being contemplated. So, similar experiment was done in Canada and also in Finland. Now, it is again being undertaken in Ontario in Canada. So, what the previous results show us is this. Now, a basic universal income, it has increased the social security and stability and also the healthcare outcomes. The costs which are being spent on bureaucracy, they are drastically cut down, and the bureaucratic discretion also has come down, and the markets are well developed. So in this context, today we are going through a world of automation. So in this era of automation, more and more job insecurity is growing. Then it is the time for the governments to think on basic incomes. The next one is dangerous times in Turkey. Now let us see. So Mr. Erdogan in Turkey is a strong man. So now Erdogan wants to gain a strategic edge in Syria. So for this, what the Erdogan did, so he made, or else he clubbed himself with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, etc. So now he has kept the entire border between the Turkey and Syria open. So many of the people, militants who joined this IS, they actually crossed the border through Turkey. Because of these open borders, the oil from Syria was also sold in the international market, which has provided for financial muscle to ISIS. Now the second thing is, in the southern border, southeast border of the Turkey, we have Kurds. These Kurdist organizations, who are the minorities in Turkey, they are recognized or they are considered as terrorists by the Erdogan regime. So these Kurds are the effective fight and barriers against the Islamic State. But Turkey finally bombed these Kurds rather than bombing the Islamic State. And even if you observe, when Russia is supporting the Syria, Turkey has brought down the Russian plane, which has become a big diplomatic tangle. And in this context, to solve these two problems, he wanted to use ISIS as a strategic edge, though it is not explicitly stated, that is what is visible. So now in this context, recently in Ankara, now in Istanbul, the terrorist attacks are increasing. So the Turkey has become the victim of its own strategy. So in this context, what has been said is, the Turkey has to first close its border with Syria and has to take a strict actions with regard to the people who are traveling on to the Syria. And second is, so if possible, if there are any internal affairs with Kurds, these can be tackled at a later time. First, the fight has to be consolidated and it has to be a coordinated effort against the Syria. And it has to immediately become the part of Syrian peace process. So these are the things. Now, explosive trail mail. So if you see, recently in Central Ammunition Depot at Maharashtra, that is Pulgaon in Maharashtra, there is a huge blast happened. So then a court of inquiry was constituted, and this court of inquiry has identified certain accountability problems in this. What it said is, there are multiple establishments which are looking care of these armament. So the ordnance factories, they produce these mines and weapons. And then armament research and development establishment, high energy materials research laboratory, they certify that. And these agencies are managed by different departments. One is defense production, the other one is DRDO. The army, which is the stakeholder with regard to this, it has no role in selecting this and determining the quality parameters. The CAG has also identified that the mines which are anti-tank mines which are manufactured by ordnance factory at Chedda, it is not up to the quality. In spite of this, these are being certified and stored at the central ammunition depot, and these are TNT based. When the TNT is leaked, then also it is very dangerous. So finally this leakage of TNT has led to such a blast, and it has taken away 19 lives. So in this context, ensuring the accountability is very critical. Now coming to 7th Pay Commission report, and the government has started implementing the 7th Pay Commission report. So in this case, the salary hike, the basic salary is increased from 7,000 to 18,000 per month. For the class 1 officers, the basic salary at the entry level, it is made as 56,100 rupees. It means head to tail ratio or compression ratio. That is the person at the lowest level and at the highest level at the entry level salaries. These are in the ratio of 1:3.12. And highest salary is to the cabinet secretary, and it is a consolidated pay of 2,50,000 rupees. So these are the various things happened. So these are the news.